Look closely. Women aren't sunny in the morning, stormy at night by random mood swings. When she goes from warm to suddenly cold, silent, distant, shut off, that isn't a mood disorder. It's a test, a darkness to see if you can generate your own light. Most men collapse right here. They fire off messages, they explain, they beg. And with each move, the flame in her eyes dims further. The harsh truth is this: it isn't her darkness that swallows you. It's your own panic that snuffs out your light. This is the dividing line. Either you become a beggar for attention, or you become a stoic man who shines on his own without anyone flipping the switch for him. In this video, I'll show you 3 stoic moves to turn silence into attraction. No begging, no groveling. Just enough for her to feel your value again. But first, drop one word in the comments: control. Because this control is the foundation for everything we're about to cover. If this message hits you, subscribe to Victory Stoic so you don't miss the lessons that will make you strong, calm, and unbreakable. Now let's begin. The hot-cold game. Welcome to the weather forecast of love. This morning, over the heart of David, 34. Engineer in Texas, the skies are clear. His new girlfriend texts, "I miss you." Emotional temperature soars, dopamine explodes. David goes to work smiling like he just closed a $1 million deal. But by afternoon, the skies change. His message gets left unread. Dark clouds gather, his chest drops, cortisol spikes, his brain goes into alert mode. That night, he can't eat, checking his phone every 10 minutes, like a farmer staring at the sky praying for rain. Next day, out of nowhere, she hearts one of his old photos. Rainbow appears. Dopamine floods back, sweet warmth returns like sunshine after the storm. But it doesn't last. That evening, she posts a story out with friends, laughing like David never existed. A Category 12 hurricane hits. Sound familiar? That's the hot-cold game. And it's not moodiness like men love to accuse women of. Psychology calls it intermittent reinforcement. Back in 1958, B.F. Skinner proved that irregular rewards. Now you get it, now you don't, make the brain more addicted than any steady pattern. That's why slot machines in Vegas bleed men faster than anything else. Women may not read psychology journals, but they know this instinct by heart. A sweet miss you, then 3 days of silence. A teasing smile, then coldness. They unconsciously run the exact formula of the casino. And you're the gambler, sitting at the screen, pulling the lever, waiting for the jackpot. So what happens inside a man, brutally speaking, pathetic? In a company meeting, David's mind is half inside his phone, signing documents, still thinking, why hasn't she replied? At night, lying in bed, his heart restless. Every screen light up, dopamine hits like a slot pull, even if the result is silence. That night, David unlocks his phone 70 times, hoping the next spin will change. That's not love. That's addiction. Behavioral research at Stanford shows inconsistent signals of affection activate the nucleus accumbens, the reward center of the brain. When a response comes unexpectedly, dopamine surges. When it's delayed, dopamine crashes. That rise and fall bonds a man tighter instead of pushing him away. It's an addictive loop like gambling. But why do women do it? Most of the time, not out of malice. It's selection instinct. Evolutionary psychology explains for thousands of years, women needed to choose men who could withstand pressure, who stayed calm in storms. A man who unravels after 3 days of silence signals at a deep level that he isn't stable enough to carry bigger loads. The hot-cold game is in essence an emotional stress test. And here's where many men feel exposed. Because the truth is, you're not as strong as you think. You might be a manager, an entrepreneur, an engineer. But one read, no reply turns you into a 14-year-old waiting for a crush. Sleepless nights, heart-pounding brain, spinning scenarios. Is there another guy? And what did I do wrong? Should I text again just in case you think you love her, but in reality, you're addicted to emotional roulette? Epictetus once said, "The free man is the one who is not dependent on what lies outside his control." And the moment you become the gambler, dependent on her shifting weather, you've surrendered your freedom. The power of the hot-cold game is this: it doesn't need to knock you out. It just needs to wind you up. The rest you do to yourself. Move 1. Stop reacting. Start observing. Ethan, 38. A logistics company manager in New Jersey. At work, he's known for being in control, respected by every employee. But in love, just a small change from a woman can strip away all his authority. The girl he's dating texted him sweetly all week, then suddenly went silent. One morning, Ethan sent good morning. By late afternoon, he only got a blunt reply. "Yeah, I'm busy." Instantly, Ethan felt uneasy. He sent another message. "Did I do something wrong?" Then a third, "If you're tired, just let me know." Within less than 24 hours, a man who once commanded dozens of container drivers had turned into a defendant, standing in court defending himself against charges no one had even made. This is the trap 90% of men fall into, reacting instead of observing. They see a woman acting cold, so they rush to explain, interrogate, or look for reasons. But that very reaction is the confession, "You control my mood." Just one cold reply is enough to keep me restless all night. And once she realizes she can control your emotions as easily as pressing a TV remote, the attraction is dead. To understand better, use the metaphor, defendant versus detective. The defendant, whenever questioned, frantically defends himself. "I'm innocent. Believe me." The more he explains, the more mistakes he makes. The detective is different. He doesn't panic. He steps back, observes behavior, collects clues, and pieces together the big picture. In hot and cold situations, men often choose to be the defendant. They fear judgment, fear loss, so they jump to explain. But what's needed is to change roles, become the calm detective observing instead of reacting. Social psychology makes this clear. When you react immediately to someone's changes, you hand control over to them. Researcher John Gottman of the University of Washington once said, "Emotional stability is the highest predictor of lasting attraction." Women don't remember the flowers you bought or the apology essays you wrote. They remember whether you stayed steady through their mood swings. When you panic, they test more. When you stay calm, they self-correct. So why do men react? Because their ego is hurt. Deep down, they hear a voice. "I'm not good enough. I'm losing her." That voice makes them act like a cornered animal. The more afraid, the more they thrash, the more value they lose. But in reality, this is the moment you must stay still. Reacting instantly on austere, losing frame, calm observation, or a keeping frame. So what should you do? 3 very clear steps. 1. Break the rhythm. When you want to react, stop for at least 30 minutes. Put the phone down, go for a walk, do some exercise. Those 30 minutes give your panic time to cool off. Most regretful texts in your life are sent in those first 30 hot-headed minutes. 2. Record, don't analyze. If she replies late, just note, "Okay, this time she replied late." If she warms up, note, "Okay, this time she's friendly." Record it like a detective jotting notes. Don't analyze. "She must have someone else. I must be unworthy." Analysis is the trap that kills you. Observation keeps you calm. 3. Keep your rhythm of life steady. Whether she's warm or cold, you still work, the meet friends, keep going. Let your daily actions prove you don't spin like a top just because of someone's signals. By doing this, you send a silent message. I don't belong to this emotional game. I have my own world. After his embarrassing slip, Ethan tried this method. The next time she went silent, he didn't send more messages. He went to the gym, finished his work reports. A day later, she texted him first, "What have you been busy with lately?" In that moment, the balance shifted. Not because Ethan played the silent game to manipulate her, but because he truly no longer let his emotions be controlled. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If you are distressed by anything external, it is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." The strength of move number 1 lies exactly here. You stop weakening yourself with hasty reactions. You grow stronger by learning to observe calmly. Move 2. Pull back twice as hard. Imagine playing tug-of-war with a kid. You pull one side, he pulls the other. The harder you pull, the harder he grips. But if you let go of the rope, he stumbles, confused, looking back. Wait. Why did you stop pulling? Men in love often forget this rule. When a woman steps back 2 steps, they rush forward 3. They text more, call more, shower her with compliments, and try to compensate with promises. And the result, she steps back even faster. Mark 29. A marketing employee in Chicago is living proof. His girlfriend grew distant, slow replies, fewer calls. Mark panicked and launched his compensation campaign. Morning flowers, afternoon food delivery, 3 messages at night. "I miss you. I worry about you. Please don't leave me." The result? 1 cold word reply. "Yeah." Just 1 word colder than ice. And Mark sat there staring at the screen, his heart crushed. Men react this way because they think proving love will pull her closer. But the truth is the opposite. The more you chase, the cheaper you become. You think you're showing love, but in her eyes, you're just devaluing yourself. Pull back twice as hard is the antidote. If she steps back 2 steps, you step back 3. If she replies late, you reply later. If she cancels plans, you don't rush to reschedule. You create space so she can feel your absence. It sounds harsh, but in reality, it's the only way to preserve value. Psychology calls this the scarcity principle. When something becomes scarce, people see it as more valuable. By pulling back, you unintentionally apply this principle. On the contrary, the more you flood her with attention, the more she feels overwhelmed, and the less she values you. Remember, women don't lose interest because you're not handsome or not rich. They lose interest because you reveal that your life revolves around them. They step back a little, you pour in your entire world. That kills attraction the fastest. Sounds simple but hard to practice. Because a man's instinct is to chase when what he wants runs away. Like when a cat runs, you want to grab it. But in love, the more you chase, the more you lose. You must do the opposite of instinct, stop and pull back even further. This happened with David, 42, a gym owner in Miami. His girlfriend grew indifferent, always busy, slow to reply. Instead of panicking, David decided, okay, she steps back, I'll step back too. He stopped texting, focused on his work. Even when she posted stories going out, David just looked, smiled, and went on with his workout. A week later, she showed up at his gym with the excuse training near your place. That's the power of pulling back twice as hard. Stoicism reminds us, do not let what you cannot control disturb your peace of mind. Pull back twice as hard is not a game to hurt her. It's a way to keep your peace. It says, I'm not fighting you. I'm not chasing you. I just refuse to let my world collapse because you withdrew. So how do you apply this? 1. Mirror your instincts. When she's cold, you'll want to text right away. That's instinct. At that moment, stop. Remember that reaction only makes you lose value. 2. Set the deduction principle. If she replies after 6 hours, you reply after 8. If she steps back 2 steps, you step back 3. No need to say much, no need to confront. Your silent actions already speak loudly. 3. Redirect your energy. Instead of waiting for her texts, schedule time with friends, focus on personal projects. Only when your life is full can you truly pull back, because you're not empty and waiting. Sounds like a trick, but it's not. It's just protecting your self-respect. You're not chasing attention. You let her feel the absence. And paradoxically, it's that absence that sparks her curiosity. A funny story, Joey, 27, a bartender in New York. His girlfriend got upset, pulled back one step. Joey, instead of pulling back, rushed in. He sent a 2-minute voice note begging, even singing a song to prove his love. The result? She blocked him for 3 days. Joey then learned the lesson: when she steps back, don't rush forward. Step back further. From then on, Joey applied the 3-step rule. She distances 1, he distances 2. The result? This time, she was the one to close the gap. Pull back twice as hard is not cruelty, it's balance. It shows women you're not an emotional puppet. It shows them you have your own world. And most importantly, it reminds you your attention is valuable. If someone withdraws, you don't collapse. You simply shrink the circle, letting them feel the loss. Many men think pulling back means losing, like competing for a girl, and another guy overtakes you. But in psychology, the less available you are, the more you become a luxury item. Think of the last time you disappeared from a group chat. Normally, whatever you send gets replies. Instantly, everyone takes you for granted. But disappear for a week, and suddenly someone messages, "Hey, where have you been? You've vanished lately." That's scarcity. People value what's gone. The human brain works funny. Loss always hurts twice as much as the joy of gain. Find $100 and you smile. Lose $100 and you curse for a week. Love is the same. When you text nonstop, your presence is like air. Nobody cares if it's there. But when you withdraw, that's when she starts to suffocate. No more daily texts, no more compliments, and suddenly her brain jolts. Wait, did I just lose something? And there's another factor: FOMO. Fear of missing out. Humans can handle bad news, but they can't handle the unknown. She may block you, but secretly check your stories. Why? Because her imagination runs faster than Netflix. Just by disappearing, her brain creates an entire season. Where did he go? With who did he meet another girl? And it's this fear of missing out that unsettles her more than any message you could send. The problem is, most men can't stay patient. They pull back for 1 day, then itch to text, "Are you okay? I miss you." And it all collapses. You must understand, pull back twice as hard is not childish sulking. It's pushing her brain into 3 loops at once: scarcity, fear of loss, and fear of missing out. A psychological combo. You don't need words. Just disappear at the right time and her own mind will do the work. But here's the warning. Many men do it wrong. They pretend to pull back, but in reality they sit clutching their phones, staring at the screen, waiting to reply the second she texts. That's not scarcity, that's fake scarcity. And women smell it instantly. An empty man's withdrawal is meaningless. That void is just a swamp. No one wants to step into it. The key is, the space only has value when it's filled with another world. When you step back, not to wait, but because you're busy living. When your texts become rare because you're at the gym on your project, learning a skill, or simply living a colorful life. Only then does your silence carry weight. She senses you're not playing games. You truly have bigger things to do, and your attention becomes a luxury resource. And here's the turning point. Move 2 teaches you how to pull back, create scarcity, and make others realize value. But move 3 is where you truly transform. Instead of her being the center, you replace that center with your career, your goals, your mission. That's when you're no longer just the man who knows how to step back. You become the man with a journey. And anyone who wants to join must walk at your pace. Move 3. Replace her with your mission. This is a painful but liberating truth if the center of your life is a woman you've already lost from the start. A man is not born to revolve around a look, a smile, or a text. A man is born to carry a mission. And when you forget that mission, you reduce yourself to a shadow. Look around. Which men do women respect and feel drawn to? Not the ones who say, "I miss you" all day. Not the guys checking their phones every minute. But the man with clear direction, walking with eyes set beyond a single relationship. The man who still goes to the gym even after a fight the night before. The man who keeps working on his projects, focused on his career, sharpening his skills, regardless of whether anyone texts him or not. Women aren't attracted because you make them the center of your universe. They're drawn to the man who can't be shaken, a warrior marching forward who doesn't stop just because of one disapproving glance. Marcus Aurelius once said, "A man of worth should stand like a rock before which the waves keep crashing. It stands unmoved, the raging of the sea falls still around it." That is the image of the Stoic man. And to become that rock, you must replace your center. From revolving around her to revolving around your mission. Think back to when you first fell in love. You had dreams, plans, goals. Then gradually, you gave up the gym, gave up friends, gave up ambition just to get a few texts at night. You thought that was love, but in reality, it was surrender. You lost the light in your eyes, and when that light went out, she no longer saw you as radiant. So what should you do? Simple but ruthless. Replace her with your mission. If you once spent 2 hours waiting for a text, pour those 2 hours into training. If you once spent 3 sleepless days over a woman, pour those 3 days into learning a new skill. If you once spent a month begging for affection, dedicate that month to building your work, your finances, or your life project. It sounds cold, but that is what revives you. When you do this, you radiate something no one can fake: the energy of a man on his path. Women feel it instantly. They'll wonder, what is he chasing that doesn't need anyone's cheerleading? And the paradox is, the moment you no longer need them, that's when they begin to want you. A Stoic man doesn't live to please. He lives to fulfill his mission. He doesn't sit waiting for texts. He sits planning his path. He doesn't worry, will she leave me? He worries, did I take a step forward today? Hear this clearly, a woman can leave you at any time. But your career, your health, your skills, those are with you until the end. If you trade what is permanent for what is temporary, you betray yourself. So choose. Either you live in the shadows waiting for recognition from someone else, or you are a Stoic warrior building your own world. And if anyone wants to join, they must march to your rhythm. Conclusion: men don't lose because women are too complicated. They lose because they themselves reacted panicked and abandoned their mission to make one person the center of their universe. But these 3 Stoic moves are the way out. First, stop reacting. Stay calm like a rock against the waves. Second, pull back harder so your absence rings like a bell in her mind. And third, replace her with your mission. Become the flame itself. These 3 moves don't promise to make every woman turn back. But they will make you the kind of man who never needs to beg, never needs to plead, and still keeps respect. And the paradox is, only when you no longer need them, they begin to crave you. Remember, real attraction doesn't come from tricks, but from the presence of a man with clear direction, unshakable and unwilling to lower himself to beg. That is the spirit of the 3 Stoic moves that regain her interest without begging. If this message hit, you drop a single word in the comments: Stoic. A reminder that from today, you are no longer a beggar for affection. You are a warrior. And warriors don't need to beg to be seen. They only need to walk their path. And the whole world, including her, will have to turn and watch.